Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to explain you about gland and their types. So let's start. Actually we or human beings come under mammalia, and mammalia have such a special characteristic feature, that is glandular skin. So we must know detail about the glands. Glands are multicellular organ or individual cell that secretes substances for use in the body. Most glands are made up of epithelial tissues, and their secretions include mucin, hormones, electrolyte, enzyme and waste products. Glands may be multicellular or single cell or unicellular. Glands can be mainly divided into three parts: endocrine glands, exocrine and mixed gland. Endocrine gland secretes the products into the bloodstream or interstitial cells that surrounds the vessels. Endocrine gland includes adrenal, thyroid, pituitary. Okay, this is the blood vessels or artery. This is the adrenal gland. Here it is the kidney. Here adrenal gland is located above the kidney. That's why adrenal glands also called suprarenal gland. So here I am giving you an example of adrenal gland. The secretion of this adrenal gland directly comes into the blood. Okay, so this is a type of gland called endocrine gland, where the secretions directly goes to the blood vessels. Exocrine glands, this is an example of sweat gland, mammary glands. Their secretions, they are actually duct, with duct, they are without duct. Their secretions comes out from the gland. There are some secretory cells, they secrete the product, and that product, the secretions come out through the duct. So they are exocrine glands. As they are coming out, so they are called as a exo, and as they are coming in the directly in the blood vessels, so they are called as a endo. Okay. Now this is the third type, that is mixed gland. Mixed gland, that means they have both the properties. That means they are act as a endocrine as well as a exocrine. Okay, endocrine as well as exocrine. Both of the properties are comes under the mixed gland. So example of mixed gland is a pancreas. Acinus is an exocrine property of pancreas, and islets of Langerhans. That means there are some group of cells. They secrete the hormones. That is the endocrinal property of the pancreas. So pancreas is a gland, have both of the properties, exocrine as well as endocrine. These are exocrine glands. Exocrine glands are of two types, that is multicellular and single cell or unicellular. Example of unicellular is goblet cells. Okay, and this is the multicellular. These are many more cells. So single cell gland or unicellular exocrine, both of they are exocrine. Okay, so they secrete their secretion out of the skin, and that unicellular cell, that is goblet cell, they are generally present at the epithelial tissue, in the epithelial layer. So they secrete their secretion and form a layer of mucus. Their secretions comes out and they form a layer of mucus above the epithelial tissue. Multicellular exocrine gland is classified into two, simple and compound. I am showing you a chart. Before coming to the types of multicellular exocrine gland, here I am showing you the steps of the formation of gland, how the exocrine and endocrine glands are formed. So here it is. This is our epithelial tissue, and beneath the epithelial tissue there is a connective tissue. Then Some cells of the epithelial tissue divide to form a epithelial cord inside the connective tissue. And then these two types of glands are formed. Some cells are specialized to form a tube, and at the beneath that tube some portions swollen to form that alveolar structure. So this become actually the exocrine gland, because they have a passage for their secretion to throw outside. So these are the duct, they form the duct. So these are exocrine glands. And here is the another type, the epithelial cord. After whenever it is developed, it comes around the blood vessels. The cells comes around the blood vessels, and the cord or the tube portion, the cells of this tube portion get degenerated. So these are the blood vessels, and the blood vessels are surrounded by the cells. These cells are the cells of the gland, and they pour their secretion directly into the blood. So this forms the endocrine glands. They have no duct, without duct. Endocrine gland with duct, exocrine gland. So from the epithelial tissue, two types of glands form: exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Endocrine gland. Now I am coming in the classification of multicellular exocrine gland, because unicellular exocrine, example of unicellular exocrine gland is goblet cell. I have already discussed that is present on the epithelial tissue. Now it is the multicellular exocrine gland. It is divided into two, actually based on the classification is based on these two types. First, the classification based on the form, and second, the classification by the secretion method, how they secrete. Okay, so this is the two forms of multicellular exocrine gland. This is the simple and this is compound. And on the mode of their secretion, methods of their secretion, they are of three types: holocrine, apocrine and merocrine. Okay, there are three types, and these are the classification based on the form of the multicellular exocrine gland. So this is the simple form. Simple, that means there is only one gland is formed, one duct is there. But and in compound there is a branching ducts are there. The single one duct, one opening, and here this is the duct is divided into different branches. So this is the compound multicellular exocrine, and this is the simple multicellular exocrine. Now I am coming in details. Now the simple exocrine gland, it is divided into two forms, that is tubular, which is whose structure is like a tube, and the second type is alveolar or acinar. They are like bulbous structure. The secreting cells form this bulbous structure. Okay, these are two types of simple exocrine gland. Now tubular type is of three types. Number one, simple straight tubular, coiled tubular and simple branched tubular. Simple straight tubular, it's just like normal tubular. Now this tubular duct is coiled around. That's why it's called the coiled tubular. And this is the simple branched tubular. That branch are all like a tube. So this is the simple branched tubular. So these are three types of tubular simple exocrine gland. And here the acinar or alveolar gland, that is also of two types, simple acinar and simple branched acinar. Okay, simple acinar is a normal bulbous alveolar structure, and it's whenever it is branched, it's from the simple branched acinar. So these are all about the simple exocrine gland. Now this is the compound gland, that is branching duct. Okay, this is of three types: compound tubular, the tubule forms in branching pattern, so this is compound tubular. Compound acinar, the acinar structure but forming branch, and this is the compound tubuloacinar, because here some ducts are, some glands are tubular and some are acinar. Both of the two types, acinar and tubular, are here. So that's why this type is called the compound tubuloacinar. I have discussed the classification of multicellular exocrine gland by form, simple and compound. Now I am going to the classification of multicellular exocrine gland by the mode of their secretion, methods of their secretion. So here it is. In holocrine gland, first is holocrine gland. In holocrine gland, the cell accumulate its secretion, its secretory product inside it, and then the cell ruptures to release the product. The ruptured cells are replaced by the epithelial tissue by the cell division. So this is the holocrine gland, and the example of holocrine gland we find in skin and eyelid. Apocrine gland are the gland that pinch off portion of the cell to release the secretory product. They actually form a special structure above the cell. Look one thing, that here all the nucleus are present at the beneath of the cell, okay, at the lower side of the cell. Now in apocrine gland, what happened? They form a special structure that contains all their secretions, and then it's detached from the cell and then the cell, after releasing its secretory product, come in repair and continues to produce the substance in the same manner. Okay, here is the epithelial tissue, then it's repair itself. After releasing that secretory material, it comes in repair. So this is the apocrine gland. Example of apocrine glands are the sweat glands. Sweat glands are the example of apocrine glands. Now the third and last type of their based on their mode of secretion is merocrine. Merocrine gland. Merocrine gland release their secretions by the process of exocytosis. When secretory vesicles actually come at the edge of the cell, that secretory vesicles goes out by the exocytosis method, goes out of the through the plasma membrane. Their secretion they throw out of the cells by the exocytosis process. But here one thing is special, that the cell not get damaged. But in case of apocrine and holocrine, the cell, in both of the cases, cell get damaged. They needs to repair. But here the cell not get damaged. After releasing the secretory material outside, they for the further time they again form the secretory material inside them. Okay, so this is the merocrine glands. Example of merocrine glands are salivary gland. So here cell not get damaged. So these are all about the types of gland. So in this video, I only focus on what is gland and different types of gland. If my video help you, then please like, share and subscribe my channel. If you are new in my channel, then don't forget to subscribe it. Thank you for watching. Very soon we will meet in my next video. Take care.